Hello there. This tutorial is going to be about merging bones to increase performance as well as atlasing using the new Atlaser in Cats plugin to increase performance in VRChat. So you'll notice I have a new model in here. I've already ran Cats on it, and a lot of bones are present that don't need to be here. So I'm going to begin by expanding the bone tree, and you'll notice that this particular model has a root ground and root hips bone. These are completely pointless and not used in VRChat. They're usually used in games to label the ground for a model. So what I'm going to do is expand the model options, and I'm going to enter pose mode. And in pose mode, I'm going to select those bones, right, like this, by shift clicking, and then I'm going to click merge weights. What this will do is it'll merge them into the parent. So now the hips have all those bone weights into it. I'm going to do the same with the spine middle, as VRChat only has one spine bone. Now I'm going to enter edit mode to correct the spine, because now this spine bone here has the weight of both the middle spine bone and the original spine bone. So I'm going to select this tip, and I'm also going to locate the chest bone here. Alright, it looks like this model has, okay, the chest bone here. Alright, so this is the bottom of the chest bone. So a quick way to manage this is from the side. Oh, it looks like there's an extra bone here called torso front as well, which isn't needed. So I'm going to merge that into the chest. Then I'm going to click again on the bottom of the chest bone. And in this tab here with the bone, I'm going to hit connected, then unconnect. This will set both ends to each other, so I'm going to move that up now so that they're touching. I'm going to enter pose mode just so I can be sure that that bone is still working as intended. Alright, it does appear to be working as intended. Alright. Next, let's see what other bones we can merge here to optimize this. So right now the arms seem to have extra shoulder bones. So if I enter pose mode again, let's see here. So right here is an extra bone called left elbow. Actually, let's expand the chest and go into the left shoulder and expand that all the way out to the wrist. So you'll notice this tree has a ton of extra bones. You do not need any of these. So I'm just going to select these all at once and then hit merge weights. And I'm also going to merge this extra shoulder bone. Basically, if you do not see a bone that is not named the necessary bones, such as left arm, left elbow, and left wrist, in here, that means they're extra, or they're attached to physics, such as a ribbon hanging, etc. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with the right shoulder. I'm going to select every extra bone, as so, and hit merge weights. Let's expand the wrist and see what's in here that might be extra. Let's go for the left wrist. So the wrist does seem to have some extras. It seems to have these extra bone tips here. So I'm going to select these extra bone tips. What are they called? So they're centers. Okay, so I'm going to click on these. Oh wow, they even have bones for the knuckles, so those aren't necessary either. Let's see. Merge weights. So I'm just going to keep going through here and cleaning up each finger. Until we get exactly what's supposed to be there. 3 bones for each finger. So I just skipped ahead and also did the same thing to the right wrist, as having you sit here and watch that isn't going to be of much help. So now what we're going to do is continue to go through, find the last few remaining bones, and just keep merging them. Looks like there's an extra head bone. Also, always feel free to rotate those bones to see exactly what they're affecting to make sure that they're not necessary. So breast right side doesn't seem to be necessary. Same with the other side. Actually, let's see here. So that, what I'm going to do actually is go back one, because this bone here is actually possibly necessary for breast physics. So this bone and this bone, or at least these 2 bones can be used for breast physics. So let's see. Okay, but that's also affecting the shoulder, so I will actually just go ahead and merge those. Alright, pelvis front. Don't need that. Pelvis back. Yep, that's pelvis. So that's just more hip bone, basically. Alright, this is looking a lot more clean. The skirt is completely rooted, as you see there. Left and right hip. So these would technically probably be some butt physics. Let's see here. Alright, so technically with this, we could add butt physics to the game. I'm going to leave those ones here in case, even though it is in a skirt, so it's not like anyone will see it. So it might be best if I just merge those as well. So I'm going to do that now. So let me rotate this leg just to see what it looks like now. Yep, that looks good. Alright. Let's expand the leg to see what's in there. Okay, so we got some extra knee bones, boot bones. Alright, so there's these laces seem to have some physics here. Or not, yeah, I could put some physics on these belts, but that seems kind of pointless. So let me curve these like so. After I curve them, I'm going to apply rest pose. That way, it permanently puts those belts like that, go back into pose mode, and then merge those bones. Now that I've merged those bones, let's see what these ones do. Alright, so those are more physics for the boots. I don't exactly need that, as putting dynamic bones on everything just lowers performance. So boot left, boot right. Let's see what those do. Okay, we don't need those at all, so those need to be part of the actual leg. Let's move this, just to be sure. Alright. So this leg seems good. Actually, there's still a tiny, tiny bone here, and that's one of the reasons you want to use this list, is you can't actually see all these bones that are really tiny. Alright, so let's expand this leg out. since the only bones you need are these three, right, or these ones right here. So I'm just going to select all these other bones and merge them in. Alright, so last is to check the head. So we'll go to the neck bone. Alright, so you'll notice here there is a throat bone, which I can go and see what that does. Alright, so that moves her throat. And since it's parented to the neck, I'm just going to merge that. So now the neck bone will control that part too. Alright, so inside the head, so it looks like there's actually a root bone for the entire face, which isn't necessary. I'm going to merge that. Same with this one. We're going to leave all these bones though, because I'm going to be using those for animations and face animations and other things such as blend shape creation later on, which I do have a previous tutorial on how to do that in my Visine tutorial. Alright, let's go through this a little bit more. It looks like, however, we pretty much got everything. There are some really interesting bones here, but these seem to just be different names for cheekbones and stuff. Eyelid bag, etc. So we're going to leave all these. We're mostly just looking through to see if there's any dummy bones or bones that control the entire face, but we already grabbed those. So as of right now, this character is much more optimized in terms of bones. Actually, I'll make it a little bit better by taking the tips of all this hair and minimizing the bone count a bit more by merging all the tips of the bones into that. There we go. Alright, so the second step is the creation of Atlas using the new Atlas tool. In your Atlas tool, if you scroll further down, you'll notice there's an optimization tab. One thing you want to do is combine all the same material to begin, but that's normally done in Fix Model. Another thing is you'll want to hit this X here, and that'll make it so it'll remove all the normal maps and tune maps and stuff that are useless on the model. I'm going to hide the bones here so we can see the model better. If you go to the Atlas tab, there is now a new button here that you'll be able to press to generate material list. I've already done so earlier. However, if you do not have the add-on installed, when you hit that list, it'll give you instructions on how to get that and install it. So now that I have that installed, what I'm going to do is, see here, there is eyeballs, head, etc. So these ones are going to be what I'm going to make a couple atlases. I want to have a different shader on the skin, for example. So I'll grab the head bone or the head material, and I think the mouth as well. So yes, I'm going to highlight the head. Alright, so yes, I'm going to check only the ones I want to generate for that single material. So the mouth and the two skin parts, I'm going to hit Create Atlas. So what that's going to do, once it's done running, is you'll now notice in the material list there's much less materials. However, she looks exactly the same, because what it did is it actually took the skin, the mouth, and the hands and body and put it all into a single material and added that to the folder with the other textures. So now I'm going to do the same thing with the outfit. So it looks like that outfit's called a sword, and I'm going to do the ring as well, because I want the eyeballs to be their own texture as well, actually. So let's do the eyeballs first. Alright, so the ring and then the sword are last, because I want to use a different hair shader as well for this one, Because if you combine everything into a single material, you can only apply a single shader to the entire model, so you better know that you're going to like it. Alright, so now we have these materials here. They're all generated, and you'll notice that there are far less than there were before in terms of material count. And then that should be everything. Your model should be much more optimized and have far fewer draw calls as well. This will help them run way better in VRChat. Thank you for watching.